Hello, Year 3, and welcome to Thursday's maths lesson. I hope you're all well, and I hope you're continuing to enjoy fractions as we come nearer the end of our fractions topic. So today, I'm hoping it will be a nice, quick and easy lesson. We only have one do it in today's lesson, and we are covering things we've already looked at this week. So I'm hoping we find it nice and simple. So our lesson objective today is to order unit fractions. So to be able to do this, we need to be able to recall what a unit fraction is, don't we? We need to remember what one of those are from looking at the lessons we've done previously. We're going to need to know what ascending and descending means, remembering what we learned in yesterday's maths lesson. And we are going to be able to order fractions in the correct order, depending on what our question is asking us to do. Is it asking us to do it in ascending order, or is it asking us to do it in descending order? We have to concentrate and make sure we check what it's asking us to do. So firstly, looking at these ascending and descending order pictures that we looked at in yesterday's lesson, we remember that ascending order means it is going up, isn't it? We are going up the stairs. We start at the lowest step and we go to the highest step. So we start at the smallest number and we go to the biggest number. So looking at these 5 numbers down here for me, 2, 9, 4, 5, and 1. Can you pause this video and as quickly as you can you rearrange these into ascending order for me, please? Well, hopefully you did that nice and speedily and started with the smallest number. So our smallest number is 1. And then we've got 2, then 4, then 5, then 9. Brilliant. So 1 is our smallest number, and we ended with 9, which is our largest number. Brilliant. So if that's ascending order, what does this descending order mean? The numbers are going down, aren't they? We're going down the steps. We start at the highest step and we walk down to the lowest step. So we start with the largest number, we go down to the smallest number, don't we? So once again, I want you to pause this video and rearrange the same 5 numbers, but this time into descending order. Okay, as you did that, hopefully you started with the largest number. So our largest number was 9, then 5, then 4, then 2, then 1. Brilliant. Okay then, so before I go on to the next slide, do you think you can tell me or a grown-up in the room what a unit fraction is? And could you give me an example of a unit fraction? Well, hopefully, if you need a bit more time to explain, pause the video, but hopefully you remembered that a unit fraction is a number that has what as the numerator? 1 is a fraction that has 1 as its numerator. 1 is the number at the top. So 1/2 is an example, 1/4, 1/6, 1/10, 1/8, 1/12, and so on. Okay, so if it's got 1 as its numerator, it will be a unit fraction. So here I've got 2 unit fractions. I've got 1/6. So this circle is split into 6 equal parts, and we are only looking at one of those equal parts. So 1 is our numerator, and 6 is our denominator, because it's been split into 6 equal parts. This is 1/10. We have 10 as our denominator, because our circle has been split into 10 equal parts. And we are only looking at one of those parts, aren't we? Okay, then going back to what we learned a few lessons ago. How do we know? Pause this video now and try and explain that to me. Well, hopefully you remembered when we're looking at unit fractions, we know that the fraction that has the largest denominator is the smallest fraction, isn't it? So when we are looking at unit fractions, we don't need to look at the numerator, do we? So answering this question down here, do we need to look at the numerator or the denominator? We don't need to look at the numerators because they're all the same. Just like with our fractions that have the same denominator, we don't look at the denominator because they are all the same. So with numerators, we don't look at the numerator. With unit fractions, we don't look at the numerators, we look at the denominators, don't we? So our denominator tells us how many pieces, equal pieces, it's been split into. So this circle has been split into 10 equal parts, and they are all smaller, aren't they, than 6 equal parts, if you can see. Imagine if we have chocolate cake, you don't want to share it, you'd rather share it with 5 people, wouldn't you? Because you'd get a bigger slice. If you had to share it with 9 other people, you'd get a smaller slice, wouldn't you? Because it's been cut into more parts. So 1/10 is smaller than 1/6 because the denominator is larger, showing that the whole has been split into more equal parts. Okay, and 1/6, the 6 is smaller than 10. So when the denominator is the smallest, it is the largest fraction, isn't it? Because it shows us that it's been split into less equal parts. So that one part we are going to look at, because they're unit fractions, that one part is going to be bigger. Okay then, so going on to our practice set then, I want you to order these fractions in ascending order. So we've got 1/2, 1/6, and 1/10. We are going in ascending order. So remember, ascending, descending. So ascending is going up. So you start with the smallest fraction and you go up to the largest fraction. So pause this video for me now and see if you can rearrange those fractions. Okay, then hopefully you started with the smallest fraction. And we know the smallest fraction is the fraction that has the largest denominator. Our largest denominator is 10, isn't it? So we start with 1/10. And then the next one isn't the largest fraction, but it is larger than 1/10, 1/6. And then the next one, the largest fraction of all, which has the smallest denominator, is 1/2. Fantastic. As you can see, this one section of the whole we're looking at, so the 1/10, the 1/6, and the 1/2, it's getting bigger, isn't it? As you can see from looking at the visual representation. And our denominators are getting smaller, showing that our fractions are getting larger. So to do it for me then, so it's similar again, but this time you've got 4 fractions, and I want you to order these in descending order. So you need to remember what descending order is, and then rearrange these in descending order. So pause this for me now and give that a go. Okay, then hopefully you remember that descending order is going from the largest number to the smallest number. So we're going from the largest fraction to the smallest fraction. And we know the largest fraction is the one that has the smallest denominator. So the smallest denominator here is 1/4, isn't it? So we start with 1/4. And then next we have 1/6. And then we have 1/8. And then we finally have 1/12, because 12 is our largest denominator, telling us that it is our smallest fraction. As you can see, the denominators are getting higher, which is telling us that the fractions are getting smaller. And looking at that one part of the whole, it is getting smaller as we go along, isn't it? It starts off fairly big as 1/4, and smaller to 1/6, and smaller to 1/8, and smaller to 1/12. So if you did that, brilliant stuff, well done. So we only had one do it to do, and now I really want you to have a go at the secure it and the deepen it. Remember, it really helps you with your reasoning skills and just helps you understand it a little bit better, looking at different forms of questions. So give it a go. You've got your secure it. So it says, what is the missing fraction in this sequence? So they've shown you the visual representation in the sequence. So what I suggest for you to do is next to each fraction, can you write down the missing fraction in the written form? So what fraction does this represent? You need to count how many equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's split into 12 equal parts. So 12 is our denominator. And today we're looking at unit fractions. So we are only looking at how many pieces? 1. So that fraction would be 1/12. Okay, so that's what I want you to have a go at. So write the written fractions next to all of these and find what is the missing one in the sequence. Okay, and then you'll deepen it today then. So Dave had put these fractions in order from the largest to the smallest. So if Dave has put them in order from the largest to the smallest, what is the name of the order he's put them in? He's put them in descending order, hasn't he? Starting from the largest and going to the smallest. Is he correct? So again, maybe you would like to write the written fraction next to it to help you see what the denominators are. Then you need to tell us, is he correct? He is correct, incorrect, because, so whichever one you think the correct answer would be, the mistake he has made is, so there's some sentence stems you can use to answer your definite. Okay, so usually we do this in our purple pen in classroom, don't we? To show that we are using our reasoning skills and giving a really good explanation as to why Dave is correct or incorrect, okay? So give that your best go. And today, we would like your math work to be sent into us. So I hope you found this lesson okay, and we look forward to seeing your math work later on, okay? So have a fantastic day, and I hope you find this okay.